Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, time and time again, I allow people to give their perspectives and give their opinions first. I let them shoot their load out first before I come out and give my perspective. Now, if this is your first time encountering this channel, I welcome you. I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. If you already subscribed to the channel, please feel free to join this channel, become a member of this channel and a supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew. As you all know, Cash App, $ Manager Marty, all contributions are appreciated. Now enough with the hugs, handshakes, and Valentine's Day cards. Let's get on to the topic of discussion at hand. Turki al-Sheikh. Now, many people gave their perspective and opinion within a matter of a week or two about Turki al-Sheikh making comments regarding ring size and how people are trying to give Turki al-Sheikh credit for talking about the ring size being smaller so that professional boxers who have a boxing style of stick and move and even move and or retreat, that style can be eliminated to prevent those professional boxers from using lateral movement, footwork, and even running, as some would call running. Now, mind you, that most people that criticize professional boxers and them running have never participated as an amateur boxer and or a professional boxer. Notice the ones that are the most critical of professional boxers are the ones who never even put on a pair of hand wraps, never jumped rope before, never hit a heavy bag before, etc., etc. But in any case, I'm going to provide some education with regards to Turki al-Sheikh and his comments towards Shakur Stevenson. And his comments towards Shakur Stevenson regarding the ring shrinking, so to speak. Because Turki al-Sheikh, he wants to see professional boxers brawl with each other, okay? He wants to see more action in professional boxing. He wants to see engagement where professional boxers are basically throwing a lot of punches at close range without retreating or using real estate in the ring. So with that, let me give one foundation that I think a lot of people are missing, and that's why I'm speaking on it. You ain't gonna find this nowhere else. That's why I'm glad you're here. So foundation number one is the judging criteria. So let's just hypothetically say that Turki al-Sheikh implement this quote-unquote rule of no running, or Turki al-Sheikh make an appeal to the sanctioning bodies to reduce the size of the ring to prevent professional boxers from moving in the ring. Well, that will be a problem in itself, because one of the judging criteria that judges use to score bouts accurately is ring generalship. See, ring generalship in layman terms is when a professional boxer is utilizing and taking advantage and controlling the real estate of the ring. So if Turki al-Sheikh does this, how does that affect the judging criteria of ring generalship? You see that? Also, Turki al-Sheikh, as I always like to say, Turki al-Sheikh is the Eric Bischoff of boxing. Now, you might not know who Eric Bischoff is, and some of you may know who he is. Well, in the mid to late 1990s, Eric Bischoff helped start and operate World Championship Wrestling, known as WCW. And he was utilizing the resources and fiduciary of billionaire Ted Turner. It wasn't his money, it was Ted Turner's money, but he was in charge as an executive of using Ted Turner's money to hire the talent or professional wrestlers to organize and operate the functions of the events, etc., etc. But it wasn't his money. In fact, he had no regulatory authority to make any decisions to change any rules in the sport of professional wrestling. And in comparison, neither does Turki al-Sheikh. Because Turki al-Sheikh is using other people's money as well. He's using other people's monetary resources and fiduciary as well. He's just an executive. He's just in charge of using those resources to help the promoters and matchmakers organize boxing events for Saudi Arabia. And of course, he purchased the Ring magazine, obviously, as we know. But the point that I'm really making is Turki al-Sheikh does not have any regulatory authority. He does not have any authority or authorization to implement, change, or modify any rules and regulations in the sport of professional boxing. All he does is sign the check from the money that's coming from PIF. Y'all remember that? Okay, now with that being said, here's why this shrinking of the ring comment makes absolutely no sense. Because every state athletic commission here in the United States, they're the ones who have the authority, and it's in their rules and regulations, for the promoter to pay a professional to install a ring at the size that's already in the bylaws and rules and regulations of every athletic commission in the states here in America. In other words, is in the state of New York, where Shakur Stevenson is going to be competing against William Zepeda next weekend, and even Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor happening in the state of New York as well. The ring size, according to the rules and regulations of the New York State Athletic Commission, is 18 by 22. Not only that, the ring posts, and most people don't know this, so that's why I'm giving y'all the education that and that's why, you know, it's important that you pay attention to where I'm going with this. So not only the ring size, meaning the canvas area of the ring, has to be a certain size, right? What about the ring posts? You know, there's 4 ring posts. What about the padding, right? The padding that's attached to the ring post. What about the height of the ring from the ground to the canvas? All of these things have a specific requirement of size when it comes to each state here in America. It's already in the rules and regulations. If you conduct your research, you'll see the evidence is right there. Okay? Not only that, what about the ropes? There's a certain distance that the ropes must be to each other. See, these are the things that Turki al-Shiki don't know. And nor do the people that agree and co-sign Turki al-Shiki. And mainly I'm talking about content creators and boxing fans. But the point that I'm making is that there are size requirements and distance requirements for all of the things and the dynamics associated with a boxing ring that's installed before each event. So how can Turki al-Shiki talk about a ring size and a ring shrinking when it's already in the rules and regulations of the Athletic Commission? You see my point?